Well, thank you so much for taking the time to talk with me today. Congratulations on the renewal of season seven. How do you feel about the show's renewal for season seven, and what are you most excited about moving forward with the show?
Oh, thank you. How do I feel about it? I mean, I think that's a good thing. I think that that means people really like this show. It's great for the writers, and I'm not really for sure the direction of how things are going to go moving forward, but I definitely feel like that's a good thing. It speaks to how people enjoy the show and they watch the show, so I think it's a good thing.
One of the biggest milestones we reached for this show was 100 episodes. What does
Yes.
this milestone mean to you personally and professionally?
I think the fact to be on the show for 6 seasons is huge for me. Um, I mean, to still be in this business after all this time, I feel is huge. Not giving up despite the ups and downs. That takes place with pursuing any dream, and especially in the entertainment industry. Um, So I would say it's a huge milestone. Just being a part of that show for 6 seasons is definitely huge for me.
You
I would
know,
consider that a so
yeah.
and 100 episodes, like it's crazy.
Yeah, it was a lot. Just seeing like the progress from season one to season six now is just like amazing, just from the CW show and then, it being on Netflix and then seeing how huge that went to now, your sixth
Yeah,
season and that to me, not many shows get that experience anymore, especially with
yeah,
the Black lead. Like
no,
that.
absolutely. It's like unheard of, really.
Mhm.
So we were very, blessed to have that opportunity, and I'm very thankful for that.
I feel like Grace has been a pivoted character throughout this series, especially when it comes to her boys, Spencer and Dylan. How has she evolved from the beginning of the series to now, and how has it been portraying that journey for her?
I think in the beginning of the series, my character, Grace, was under a lot of stress. I think more stress than later when Spencer started to get, pull it together and finding himself putting him in a different environment where he was able to flourish and not so much fall into different elements of the environment, getting in trouble and just lashing out, being angry. So I think when we first meet Grace, she's same goal of wanting to raise her kids to be upstanding citizens and to do well in life and just to be good people, and to fulfill their dreams. But you know, under being a single mom, too, and then having one child who's extremely angry because his dad isn't around. He's just angry over so many different things. So I think that when we first meet Grace, I think she was a lot more angry herself, I would say frustrated and stressed. And I think as the show progresses and as things start to lighten up for the kids, where I felt like it was a domino effect with Grace. Like once the kids seemed like they were good, I felt like that fell over to her where she became good. And then, they were able to meet their father. And then although he passed, I felt like there was a lot of opportunities for healing within the family. And then, I just feel like the progression of like is like as I feel like as Spencer's life improved, I feel like Grace's, you know, um, feelings about everything improved,
Mhm.
still wanting them best, but not as much worry, I feel like as before. And then, you know, also opening herself up to meet someone and get involved and have a relationship and not just feel like her whole world is just the kids and and school. So we saw that, and then eventually she gets married. So
Mhm.
that was cool. So I had fun. I felt like, I didn't know where it was going, because they
Mhm.
don't tell you, for this show, you're going to start here and start there. So you kind of
Mhm.
just find yourself finding it as you get the scripts. And as each season, they may prep you with
Mhm.
what's going to happen in the season. But um, looking back and to see the journey, I think that has been pretty cool.
Was there a moment that ever shocked you while reading the script about your character?
About my character,
Mhm.
I think that no, I don't think anything shocked me per se. Everything was exciting, even if it was like,
Mhm.
whoa, it's just kind of like, yeah, kind of want some, interesting storylines, something that's like dramatic or what
Mhm.
have you. So I don't think anything ever really shocked me per se. I think I may have been just excited by things, but nothing
Mhm.
shocking. I mean, I
This
was shocking by, but I'm shocked by like people, other characters. So like, oh my gosh, she got
Mhm.
shot or he got shot.
Yeah.
So that stuff was shocking.
I feel like those first two seasons felt like it was like a lot of like dramatic stuff happening each episode, but it progresses along the way. Like I feel like now that we're in season six, it's getting to where they're adults and it's not so much of like, oh, we're worrying about this person, about Spencer saving this person, it's like him
Right. Coming
everything.
into his own. Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure. For sure.
hmm because even this season we saw, Grace dealing with Billy's death through her Olivia's book. How did you approach portraying Grace's emotional journey during that time?
I think for when Billy passed away, I felt like I needed to be strong for the kids. I couldn't really give into what I was experiencing or the history of our relationship. I think it was, for me, what was more important was to be strong for Spencer mainly, and um, strong for myself too, to kind of just to keep things together. So that journey, I felt like I was able to mourn that relationship a little later after he passed away.
hmm Uh, Now, speaking of something you said earlier, fans are curious about Grace's husband, Carter. Last season,
They're like,
he
where
was
he
moving
at?
back.
I know.
Last season we saw he was moving back with family, but we don't really see him. So are we ever gonna see him in these next couple episodes, or are they just gonna like talk about
You
it?
guys gotta watch and see. Of course, I can't give any spoilers, but that is like the running joke. Like, where's your husband? I'm sad. I'm like, I'm gonna divorce. I'm always like joking around, like I'm gonna divorce him. I think he's cheating on me or whatever. But um, we may. You guys gotta tune in. I mean, we're still married and stuff like that.
Mhm.
It's there's a lot of storylines. On All American, and so I felt like they cover what they cover. But yeah, he's still in the picture for sure. So
As an actor, what has been the most rewarding part of playing Grace over the course of the series?
most rewarding part, I think, for me is the opportunity to play a mom, to be able to play a mom. I don't have kids in real life, so and I do want kids in real life. So to have the opportunity to play a mom on the show, I feel like has been very satisfying in a
Mhm.
deeper way. Especially as I get older, it's kind of like you know, um, I don't know if it's gonna happen or when it's gonna happen. So
Mhm.
it's cool that I've had the opportunity to play it in this capacity for sure.
I feel like the show addresses many important social and mental issues. How do you feel about the impact All American has had on audiences in terms of just raising awareness about conversations with mental health and social issues?
I think it's been great in that capacity. Um, you know, it's not as taboo now to speak on if you're having some issues, um, mental issues, or things that you don't even know what it is, but you're just bothered. Being able to talk about it. Talk about how you feel is not as taboo, of like holding it in. Don't let them people know how you feel and all that. I think is encouraged. So I like how the show really, through these characters' lives, they're able to, I don't know, it's almost like letting you know that it's okay, or you're not alone.
Mhm.
So, and there's people out here just like you, we're reflecting real life. So it's like you watch it and you're like, wow, I'm going through that too. So shining a light on issues that people may not feel comfortable talking about. And I
Mhm.
think that the show, kind of opens the door to start having those conversations, or at least offering approaches to um, how to deal with those issues, and just by following the storyline, it's like, okay, so Layla went to therapy, so maybe, you know what I mean? Like just sparking
Mhm.
ideas. And I appreciate that about the show because, a lot of times, it may be harder to receive something if you like message, but if you're just watching a story and,
Mhm.
this is what the character is doing, it inspires, your own actions. So,
Hmm. Yeah, recently, a fan that I followed, a follower I follow, she was telling me about how her brother was going to therapy because of what Layla was going through, like asking for help and getting therapy, and like he had therapy homework, like how she has therapy homework, and she was like, he really enjoyed his session, and she's like, he was going back again with his therapy homework, but she was like, just the impact of her storyline, and then even Spencer doing the anxiety like football or just Asher being dad. It's so many different storylines in between that, or even your story when I think season 4, you were having that situation of everyone kind of growing up, and then Spencer was like, well, maybe you need to talk to somebody. Like that's real life stuff that they incorporate
yeah,
into the storylines, which is pretty amazing just to kind of hear.
I think that I'm so sorry.
Oh.
There, my neighbors are like blowing their yard at 6 o'clock at night. Um, Yeah, I mean, and that's what's so powerful about this medium, right? Television and storytelling in general. Yeah, and I just think that it's awesome. I'm sorry, I feel like if you asked me a question, I may have lost it because of the sound. But I know that you were saying that someone that I mean, they were inspired because of the storyline, and I think that
Mhm.
that's amazing. I mean,
Mhm.
that's what it's all about. You know what I mean? I feel
Mhm.
like we're all vessels, and so I feel like that's so beautiful that characters on television can inspire people on their journey to healing, you know.
Mhm.
And our showrunner NK has done a great job with like balancing all these storylines and these characters, NK and the writers. And so they should be very, very proud of what they created
Mhm.
for sure. Because it
Uh,
starts with them, we're
yeah.
just saying their words. So
It does. One of the things that makes the show so popular is the dedicated fan base, who are deeply invested in these characters, especially the relationships. What has been your experience interacting with fans of the show?
they're hardcore. They serious. They are real serious. I remember we talk about it on set. Like when you have guest actors and recurring actors who, how they used to try to, they'll have Spencer meets a new girl, and every single one are always like how they are attacked online. Like Spencer will always Dan will always give them a heads up, like, hey, I'm just warning you, like our fans are, so they go pretty hard. And I mean, I've even had, you know, um, fans come at me like, I remember this was like, I don't know what season this was, but it was like Spencer and Olivia had got into a car accident,
Hmm.
and he said that he was driving, and I got upset with him and was like, you think she'll do that for you? And all this.
Yeah.
And the fans went, I mean, they just went off on me online. They were like, I mean, it was funny, but it was like, yeah, they're into it. So, but I think they're going to be really happy with this season too.
Mm-hmm.
Um, with things. I hope they're happy with this season. Because I know everyone loves Olivia. So I mean, they even made the name. So
Yeah.
they're happy with what they've been seeing so far.
Yes. What message do you hope viewers take away from Grace's journey and the overall narrative of All American?
Sorry, say that one more time. I'm
I was saying
so
what
sorry. This
You're
noise.
fine. I was saying what message do you hope viewers take away from Grace's journey and the overall narrative of All American?
What do I hope to take away, or people to take away?
People take away.
People take away. That you can do it if you're a single parent. That you can do it, and there can still be a lot of love. I think well, what I hope is that from Grace James, I hope that my character and just the situations that were written for us inspired conversations in households where that wasn't happening before. I
Mm.
hope that, my dealings with my kids on the show inspire a single mom or gave them an approach or was an open door for them to have a conversation with their kids. So I hope that, if I can say one thing, I hope that, yeah, I hope that the James family and the dynamic of me being a single mom and the conversations that we had and the things that we went through, I hope that those situations open up the door for other single moms or single parents or, parents period with their kids, being able to have those tough conversations or conversations that they've never had before. Um, yeah, so I would say that because I think most, it's a character, right? So I can say, oh, I hope they look at it like you can do it. It's like it's acting, like it's not even real life. So
Mhm.
to get like grounded and like realistic with it, I hope that our storylines are able to open the door for conversations to be had in households.
Have you had a favorite moment off screen between you and Daniel or between you and any of your castmates that has been like
That
memorable? Or I said, have you had a favorite behind the scenes moment between you and Daniel or any of your castmates that you felt was memorable or just laughable or such things?
It's been 6 years. I'm sure it's been like some stuff. You know what? I really miss Tay. When Tay left the show, I was just like, you know, because he was
Yeah.
so fun. It was like, um, yeah, he was just so fun. So when he left, it was like, dang, I mean, things still flow, but it was like he just brought his own energy and he's always
Mhm.
joking around. And, so I definitely miss that. And I feel like there was a lot of moments over the years that, there's nothing I can remember, to be honest, like right off the top of my head. But I feel like, yeah, we definitely had some fun times. But one thing I could say I do miss, what I missed was when Tay left. So it's like,
Mhm.
that was sad for me.
Besides all
Because
of
I really felt like, they were all family.
Yeah, yeah, especially the videos that Tay used to have of everyone and like y'all mess around on set in between takes, like those were my favorite parts, especially the wedding, like from last season, all that content. I love, like for me personally, I love all the behind the scenes stuff of what y'all do. So it's always fun to kind of see
Oh,
that.
nice.
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah.
Besides All American, are you doing any other projects coming up that you're excited about or can talk about?
Nothing I can talk about right now, but what I did do this year, I did enroll in school. I went
Oh,
to New York
congratulations.
Film Academy. And so, yeah, I wanted to further my education in like the
Mm-hmm.
craft of directing.
Mm-hmm.
So I did do that. So I'm excited about what that lane is going to offer me as well, directing. So I've always been writing. So I have my own personal stuff that I'm working on.
Mm-hmm.
professional stuff I can't really speak on at this point, but
Mhm.
um, I'm excited. I will say that I feel like I'm in the zone creatively, and
Mhm.
so I feel like I'm gonna create regardless. Like if it's
Mhm.
writing, um, I'm moving into directing more or acting.
Do you know like what drama you want to direct in though? Is
Hmm?
it like more drama? I said genre. Is it like more like directing in drama or directing comedies, or you just have like a mixture of different?
I think it'll be a mixture. Yeah, I don't really want to put myself in a box in
Mm-hmm.
regards to that because I feel like I've done both so far,
Mm-hmm.
and it's really story, you know, and it could come in a form of a comedy or it could come in a form of a drama, but it's good stories. And that would be my primary focus.
For people that have watched Grace, your story over the last past 6 seasons, what would you like to say to the fans who have watched, who supported, and who have been there since day one for All American?
I want to say to the fans who've been there since day one, thank you so much. Like, I mean, we wouldn't have made it as far as we did without without the fans. So definitely thankful and grateful, even though y'all be going hard. Um, and getting on people, they're like, it's just interesting. Everybody has their favorites, but
Mm-hmm.
yeah, just thank you. What a blessing. And I hope that, you know, our show poured into your lives in a way that you found that was helpful to help you through times. Um, I definitely appreciate your support. All of us do. So I don't mean it in that way, but since I'm
Mm-hmm.
talking,
Yeah.
right now, I feel that I just know we wouldn't be here without you guys. So I'm definitely thankful.